David, can you talk a little bit about the, I don't know if expedition is the right word, but there was a mission that you ran as part of that special access program that was related to remote viewing that involved or resulted in an expedition to Chaco Canyon. So how did that come about and what did you learn from the experience?
Well, as I understand it, from Ed Dames and Mel Riley was the other teammate on this with me, that Ed was working a concept of a target, and the program manager, Frank Gavin, was witting to this concept of the target. And the effort was to try to explore, find, and or substantiate the existence of a portal somewhere in the deserts of southwestern United States.
Now, when you say portal, how do you define that? Like a portal to where? How would you define that?
Yeah, that's a fair question. An opening into something else. So, like some of the theories surrounding a black hole. Some theories now are the black hole consumes and swallows, and other interpretations of that now are that it consumes matter here, in energy here, seen and unseen, and then ports it somewhere else. Who knows? It could be the beginning of a new universe and it doing that, like ours. Since ours began from a point of singularity, Stephen Hawking was concerned, and as was convinced rather, and as are others. So I don't know. We were trying to determine. We were trying to determine if we could find an opening that craft or something else came through, or just find an opening, and try to go from that point and see. Once you found it, if you could find it, then where would that, in terms of exploring it, how much further would you be able to take that?
So, and who
go ahead.
Who was the customer of this intelligence information? Like, who was asking the question?
Well, this again was stuff that was being done inside the unit. It wasn't something that was being asked for outside the unit. As most of the off-planet work that was done, OpenSearch Outwards and other stuff, it was being done for the edification of those in the unit who were doing it, and it was being done to try to build a historical file and evidence of exploration out beyond the physical to access these things, and to whether it was other civilizations or whether it was life forms or whether it was life forms on a craft, whether it was unseen elements of the physical universe, whether it was whatever, whatever we could stumble upon and develop. There had to be a correlation of data from different viewers, had to be patterns established, trending of data, all of it done blind. Nobody front loaded on this. So imagination couldn't kick in other than it normally does in a remote viewing session. But this concept was to find a portal. Now, to be perfectly honest about this, I'm certain that targeting the desert Southwest, and I'll bet that it was further defined in the concept was to discover a portal in and around Abiquiu, New Mexico. And I'm certain that the reason for that is because in remote viewing sessions that Ed and Mel were doing before I actually arrived at the unit and was certified to be doing that stuff, they had in their remote viewing sessions come upon underground caverns, which they believed aliens were actually living and working in those. And that often when you would see portal openings and craft, and then a craft disappear, that there was a way in which they were using kind of dimensional openings to get from one place to the other. Now, this wasn't saying that the Earth is hollow and that there are, aliens living inside the Earth like burrows of ants. It was saying that there are, they thought that there are not colonizations, but bases, right? Like bases that were subterranean, just as much as they could be subsurface in the ocean, right? Or in the deep ocean. But this was the concept of what they had been generating before I got there. That
does this have anything to do with like the Dulce, New Mexico?
No.
Okay.
I think that the concept of the target, although not articulated specifically that, because remember, Mel and I were supposed to be working this blind, and Ed was supposed to be the guy getting approval from Fern to do it, which he did, because he was bringing in and showing the results to Fern, and Fern was enamored of this kind of thing, and he understood that this was, off the books, not being done for a customer targeting something. So he was okay with that, and always was okay with that. So in this particular instance, in retrospect, looking back, looking at it all afterwards, after the work was done, I am convinced that Ed targeted this particular area around the Abiquiu Inn in New Mexico because there had been an authorized reconnaissance done there by him alone before Mel and I were ever involved. And then it was being done there because there was a mountain that was showing up in my sessions and Mel's sessions that when the overlays were done, by overlay, I mean, you can take a clear piece of acetate and lay it down over the top of somebody's sketch and copy it with a dry erase marker or something. And then you can lay another acetate down on another one and do a dry erase marker over the profile and do it on another one. And when you have 3 or even 2 profiles that match close enough that you can look at it and go, that's the same profile, which in this particular case, that's what happened.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like, subscribe, and notification buttons. Additionally, if you have any feedback, please put something in the comments below. And lastly, if you want to watch the full episode of this clip, you can find it above. Thanks again for watching.